WTIM.
It's time now for the WTIM Morning Show. I'm your host, Tim Zalabak, and thanks so much to our live stream sponsors, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. So happy to have back in studio Kelsey Bentledge, nutrition educator with the St. Louis Dairy Council. How have things been, Kelsey?
They've been great. This fall weather is really hitting the spot.
Well, it's moving in perfectly on us. It feels like in past years it's been like a light switch flips on, and all of a sudden it's wintertime. So it's nice to have some autumn temperatures
It's nice
out there.
to have a fall season. Yeah.
It really is. It really is. So that's what we're talking about today: the autumn, the fall season, and the flavors we are looking for. We're going to get into recipes and all the things we can work in dairy into our diets, of course. So, how can we start with this, Kelsey?
Yeah. So fall flavors are all the rage right now, as
course.
it being October. You have your pumpkin spice lattes coming out, all of your trendy this time of year flavors, including, apples, pears, cranberries, pumpkins, squash. We have our walnuts, pecans, all these delicious foods that kind of bring us a lot of comfort and just make us feel more like it's that time of year, right?
Absolutely.
That it's fall time. And usually this time of year it's getting a little colder, things are getting darker earlier. So we're trending towards those warmer meals, those comforting dishes like casseroles and soups and lasagna, meat and potatoes, and all of which pair really great with dairy foods.
Absolutely. You listed it off and you kept going with these autumn or autumnal flavors, and you kept going and they kept making sense right there. It's just funny how many we associate with the fall season. That's awesome.
Yeah, you kind of connect it, and it gives you that kind of warm, fuzzy feeling. Now, you think of bonfires and all of those great things that come along with fall.
Absolutely. We mentioned a whole lot of ingredients right there to mix in, and how can we start to think about dairy in the context of all this?
Yes. So as a nutrition educator at the Dairy Council, I always have to talk about the nutrition benefits of dairy. So milk contains 13 essential nutrients, including calcium, vitamin D, phosphorus, potassium, B vitamins. The list kind of goes on and on and on. And all these play a really important role in our bodies and maintaining our health. And milk is the main ingredients in all of these dairy foods. And so we just need to be making sure that we get in 3 servings of dairy per day. That doesn't have to just be milk. It could be a cup of milk or a cup of yogurt or an ounce and a half of cheese. But that's just to make sure that we're getting in all of that great nutrition that dairy has to offer and getting in enough calcium and all of these nutrients that really support our health, especially as we're entering into 6th season as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's always great. 13 essential nutrients in that milk. And I know sometimes milk brands like to get creative in their fall times. You'll see pumpkin milk and you'll see random ones like that. Just be careful. Nutritional facts on those.
One thing I always like to say is, yes, those flavored milks that you see in the store, even chocolate milk, or they have those added sugars, but it's a very minimal in the grand scheme of added sugar in our overall diet. And the great thing that comes along with those flavored milk is all of the nutrition. So as a dietitian, I always like to say pick your calories by the company that they keep. And with milk and these flavored milks, they keep really good company with all of those great nutrients that come along with it. So enjoy your pumpkin flavored milk is what I'm trying to say.
I love that little line right there with the calories and the company they keep. It's a really important thing to keep in mind, and using moderation and being able to indulge in some things every now and then. It's really great. Good message there.
There's so many foods out there that come with a lot of calories and they might be empty calories.
Sure.
And the great thing with dairy foods, you're consuming calories, but they're really nutritious calories that are fueling your body and giving your body the nutrition it needs to succeed.
Absolutely. Kelsey Bentledge in studio, nutrition educator with the St. Louis Dairy Council, talking about our fall flavors. What else have we not hit in this first section?
Well, the dairy foods are a great complement to all of these fall dishes. So they pair well with a lot of other foods. So a good example is the cheese that you put on top of broccoli, or the yogurt paired with fruit. So dairy just complements a lot of these flavors and foods that are associated with fall. So it can bring a lot of flavor to these dishes. It can add a lot of comfort to these dishes. So whether it's a creamy soup like a potato cheddar soup, that's really comfort food that has milk or cream in the base, or a casserole dish that nice and warm comfort food also has cheese and maybe milk in it as well. So it just brings a lot to these warm dishes that we're starting to look towards in the fall time.
Absolutely. You got to stay away from your canned spray cheeses and your artificial cheeses out there and your quesos in a can, stuff like that.
Yeah, well, and some of those have real dairy in them, but you just being conscious of which brands you're choosing, but choosing things that are made with actual cheese, come from real dairy foods, that's what's going to get you the best nutrition for sure.
Without a doubt. Now we're talking all about mixing them together in terms of dairy and things and autumnal flavors we've been talking about. How else can we incorporate this dairy?
Yeah, so there are a ton of recipes and ideas that I'm going to talk about today.
Sweet.
So there, one is a cinnamon apple pear yogurt parfait.
Cool.
So that has a ton of fall flavors right there with the apple and the cinnamon, and it also is just super nutritious and delicious as well. You can put some walnuts on it for some added protein and nutrition. You could try out a pumpkin pie smoothie. Anything that has pumpkin in it is going to add a ton of fiber to your diet.
Oh.
So that's a really good option as well. You could make a pumpkin pie smoothie with a frozen banana, some maple syrup to sweeten it up, and then pumpkin milk and yogurt. And it's super delicious. It tastes like pumpkin pie, but a smoothie, basically. You could try out some cranberry brie. So take some brie, bake it, and put some like cranberry sauce on top. That might be popular really coming up with the holidays as well. So some different ideas. You could try a harvest salad. Beets are really popular this time of year, maybe a beet salad or roasted root vegetables. So many different flavors that you can try this time of year, and add in the dairy with them to make them even more nutritious.
I think you're giving people a lot of ideas out there. And every time Kelsey Bentledge comes in studio, we start talking recipes. Gosh, my stomach starts rumbling over here. You got some great options right there. You mentioned beets at the very end. Beets are super high in nutrition. What are they super high in right there? It's escaping me right now, but
I know that now
beets.
that you bring it up, I know all the nutrients in dairy, but I'm hitting a stump with the beets. We're gonna have to Google it on break and then come back and tell the
absolutely. I was on a beet powder trend for a while, and beets, I mean, they filled me with energy, and
they have a ton of nutrition.
Yeah.
They're packed with fiber and a ton of other nutrients too, but we'll have to look into that.
Awesome. Okay, Kelsey, one more recipe or an idea you have for people to create before we go on break here?
Yeah. So our recipe for this month actually is a tomato soup and grilled cheese recipe. That's like the ultimate comfort food for me. I don't know why this time of year it's the ideal meal for me. Sure. My husband would disagree, but if you're interested in that recipe, we'll talk about it a little bit more. But also it is on our website at stldairyycouncil.org.
Awesome. We're going to get into that recipe, and you can check out that website for all this information and more. We're speaking with Kelsey Bentledge, nutrition educator with the St. Louis Dairy Council. Thanks so much to our live stream sponsors, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. We'll be right back here on WTIM, your information station.
Your information station, WTIM. Radio gets results.
Miller Media Group Advertising works for Taylorville Estates. Here's Administrator Tony Clark.
In the past year, we have doubled our census. So that's been impacted mainly by the radio advertising. That is where we do the majority of our advertising, and our census definitely shows that it works. They lead us in the right direction for the season changing, and they anticipate our upcoming needs before we even have to tell them what they are. We've had consistent growth over the past 12 months. Like I said, we've doubled in our census, and that's been the first time in 43 months since prior to COVID that we've gotten to where now we have a waiting list for people to come. So advertising on the radio really does have an impact.
Brian Barnhart here, the voice of the Fighting Illini Nation, to listen for Fighting Illini sports this season on New Country 104.1. From every kickoff during football season to the closing horn of every basketball game, you'll hear them in Christian County and surrounding area on your home for Fighting Illini sports, New Country 104.1. Follow the orange and blue and go Illini.
Brought to you by Prairie Farms Dairy, Bob Ridings Pana, Aaron's Rent to Own, and Adam Jeffrey with Craig's Realtors, both in Taylorville.
There's only one Central Illinois radio station that brings you the memories of the 60s and early 70s as you are cruising down the streets of your hometown. The dial position is 98.3 FM. The station is 98.3 WSVZ. From Macon to Vandalia and I-55 to I-57, cruising 98.3 plays the hits from early Elvis in the 60s to the British invasion of the Beatles, Herman's Hermits, and many more from the 1960s. Then we swing into the early half of the 1970s with artists like the Guess Who, the Doobie Brothers, and Elton John. Every song brings back something you remember about growing up. Set a button and crank up the station, playing good time rock and roll from the Tower of Power, cruising 98.3 WSVZ.
Craig's Realtors did it again. Owner Steve Craig's here. With over $39 million sold from 245 transactions last year, we continue again as the market leader. Click on my icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Find out about all the products and services offered by Dan Rizzo, your American Family Insurance agent in Taylorville, by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
Back here on the WTIM Morning Show with Kelsey Bentledge, a nutrition educator with the St. Louis Dairy Council. In that first half, we talked all about the fall flavors and how you can start incorporating dairy into your fall meals and your fall recipes. We're going to get started on this round with a recipe. What do you got for us, Kelsey?
Yeah, so we have a tomato soup and grilled cheese recipe on our website this month, so be sure to check that out. I know most people already have a tomato soup in their back pocket, but if you don't and you need one to keep on stash, this one is really, really delicious. Great. It's very creamy. It's made with cream, broth, roasted tomatoes, onion, garlic, seasonings, and some other spices in there. And it's served with a grilled cheese. So we decided on a Gouda and Havarti grilled cheese because both of those cheeses are super creamy. They melt really nice and they bring a ton of flavor and really rich fall flavors in them. So give that a try. Or if you want to try out a different type of soup, maybe try a butternut squash soup to mix it up a little bit. But like I said, this is such a comfort food for me, and I'm sure a lot of listeners out there as well, is that grilled cheese and tomato soup.
Oh, we can really relate back to that. I didn't know how much went into a tomato soup right there. I've always been a canned tomato soup guy, but you can really dress it up all you want.
You absolutely can.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What else do we have here in terms of baked dishes? Do you have anything else for us in recipes or ideas?
There's so many baked dishes out there. One of the viral ones that I like to make a lot is the baked feta pasta. It's a block of feta. You have a container of cherry tomatoes, put it in there, drizzle olive oil over the whole pan with some garlic, salt, and pepper and things like that. Bake it until the tomatoes start to kind of pop or get squishy. And then the feta will be nice and melty at that point as well and browned. And you mix it all together and it creates this delicious sauce that you toss over some penne noodles or whatever noodle you want to choose. And it tastes like you got it from a restaurant. It's so delicious and so easy to make too.
That one made the rounds on social media. I did see that one. How easy of an idea that one is.
Yeah.
Just watch through the oven, make sure it's ready. That's awesome.
I know, and the feta industry is still trying to keep up from it being such a viral recipe on social media. So that is a really good recipe to keep on hand for sure.
It's crazy I mentioned that because how many different recipes go viral out there. Just recently there was like a cucumber trend, and I heard there was supply issues in the cucumber industry there. That's hilarious.
It's crazy how social media can drive the supply and demand chain and our food chain. It really is wild. And cottage cheese has really taken off in the social media too. There's so many cottage cheese recipes out there. It seems like that's like the new popular dairy food that's trending on social media. And then now they're trying to keep up with cottage cheese production, which is great. Cottage cheese is so nutritious for people, but it's just so fascinating how social media can change, trend things in a certain way.
It really does there. And my algorithms are all messed up because of this morning show here. And we talk about all types of different stuff. I even see things on the dairy industry and they get real farmers talking on social media, and it really shines a light into the care that's taken of these animals. All that kind of stuff. We're getting off topic there, but yes. I love hearing that.
It's awesome to see those dairy farmers out there representing what they do, because they do work really hard and making sure that they provide us with delicious and nutritious dairy products.
Absolutely. We talked pumpkin spice lattes at the very beginning of this, but we got some more fall drinks. Of course, it's not the only one that exists out there.
Yes, even though it seems to be the most popular one is that the PSL pumpkin spice latte. But there are some other fall drinks if you're interested in trying, like maple lattes. There's different cappuccinos, mochas that kind of bring out the fall flavors. Also, smoothies as a different option for drinks other than coffee. I mentioned the pumpkin pie smoothie. You can try an apple pie smoothie. Or as the days get colder, I know chocolate milk is kind of a go-to at my house to warm up by the fire and things like that as well. So there's so many dairy drinks out there that really set that cozy tone now that we're heading into fall in the colder months.
Absolutely. Love hearing about the extra drinks there. Maple lattes. Never had a maple latte before. Is that something that could be offered at local coffee shops, you think?
I believe so. I think most local coffee shops would offer maple latte. Yeah. I was just thinking I need to try it myself.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. Is maple is that a spice? Is that something you can buy from the store? Maple?
Well, maple syrup.
Maple syrup, of course. And is that all that's really added into that?
I would think so. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. Delicious drink right there. Any more drinks to let the people know about?
There's always drinks,
of course,
to be discussed.
Yeah, you can be creative with it.
But you mentioned it earlier. You might be able to find in the stores now pumpkin flavored milks as well. So that's kind of a fun addition this time of year as well.
Awesome. Kelsey, what have we not hit yet? Where can we send people for more information here?
Head to our website at stldairycouncil.org for that recipe of the month with the tomato soup and grilled cheese with Havarti and Gouda. Cool. Super delicious. Or follow us on social media. We are always posting recipes and other information there as well. And the handle for that is at STL Dairy Council.
Awesome. That feta cheese tomato recipe. It sounds like my dinner for tonight. Hopefully Taylorville stores are stocked on their feta. Hopefully they escaped.
Hopefully they're keeping up with the supply chain issue on feta.
Absolutely. Kelsey Bentledge with the St. Louis Dairy Council in studio with us now. I got about 2 minutes left. School's back in session out there, Kelsey. I know you guys are busy with all kind of different stuff, but what do you have going on today?
Yeah. So today I'm actually heading to some schools in the area, Decatur and Oriana, and heading into actual classrooms to educate them about dairy farming through our Adopt-A-Calf program. Wow. So our Adopt-A-Calf program is a fun little virtual program where classrooms can adopt a baby calf and then watch it grow throughout the school year. And they get updates every single month with a photo and videos from their farmer. But we also like to go into the classrooms and do a little additional education. So I'll show them pictures of the farm where their calf lives, but I'll also teach them about dairy nutrition while I'm there and get some nutrition education in with the kiddos so that they know how important nutrition is for their bodies, but also learn about dairy farming at the same time.
Awesome. That whole program makes me smile. Adopt a Calf there with the St. Louis Dairy Council. If area schools are hearing this right now, they wanted to get involved, can they contact St. Louis Dairy Council?
Yes. So they can head to our website at stldairycouncil.org, and they can always sign up as interested on our interested page. The Adopt a Calf has its own tab. So head there and sign up as interested. And we also expanded the program this year so that older students can join as well. So it used to be kind of a kindergarten through second grade program, but now we have some more educational materials for those older elementary kids as well.
Yeah, I could see some of those older students taking some real benefits out of that one. So that is awesome. Kelsey, thank you so much for taking the time being here with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Kelsey Bentledge, nutrition educator with the St. Louis Dairy Council right here on our WTIM morning show. Thanks for tuning in.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville, 96.1 W241 CF Taylorville, 107.5 W298 CD Shelbyville, 107.9 W